Hey Grant, what's up?
Hey, hey, it's warming up. That's what's happening. Look at all you got your sweaters on.
Well, it's like below 60. We're chilly here in Charleston. We don't understand this cold weather crap anymore.
Fair enough. Justin's in the dark. He's trying to conserve power. Turn all those monitors off.
Turn all the monitors off.
Yeah.
Or doing the techie most hated thing in the world, rewiring things.
Oh yeah. Feels nice when it's done though.
A nice one
It's
to
one of
start
those
with.
things that we get excited about going into it, but then the moment you start like having to plug things back in, you're like, ugh.
Oh, it's much harder than I thought.
I still love it most of the time.
Very
It's the
good.
cable management that's the fun side when you don't have the bundle of cables just sitting on the
Yeah.
floor in a rat's nest. That feels satisfying when that's done.
Fair enough. All right. Hello everyone. Welcome to Obvio Q&A. Oh, look at this. We've got a bunch of questions. Oh, maybe not. We've got a bunch of questions from last week. Some from last week. So
That'd be my fault. I may not have cleared things. Sorry.
that's all right. At least it's but there are some from today as well. All right. So we have a build that we could do today.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
yeah.
Priscilla, I saw the logos that you sent in. You don't
Yeah.
happen to have those as transparent PNGs, do you?
Um, I don't know. I have a lot of files for the logos. Do you want me to do screen share and show you what I have?
Sure.
Uh,
Do you have any that end with the words PNG?
I think so. Let me go before I share all my dirty laundry here, like how unkept my desktop and computer is. Bear with me. I'll be right back.
PRV.
Hang on for a sec. Where am I going? Where am I going here? Okay.
Okay. So we've got to
Oh, I found
build.
them. I found, yes,
Yeah, no, good.
I
Okay,
found them. So, oh, yes, I have my women called for more live event PNG. Yes, I have that. And then I have my horizontal stacked. Yes, so yes, I have PNGs. I thought that's what I sent. And I also have my my brand colors
Enjoy the content. We got you. We won't
in a
shake
JPEG.
hands with
Where would you
everybody.
like me to send them?
Can you just drop them in the Zoom chat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I would love to if I can. Let me just see. Okay, so here is, bear with me. Here is my live.
Okay, I'm just you just get that ready, Priscilla. I'm just going to let people know what we're up to just while we're getting that ready. So for those that are still new to Obvio and what happens on these Wednesday calls, generally the idea is that we are just answering questions about Obvio. That often goes down the line of integrations, connecting it with CRMs, and the functions of how Obvio works. What also happens is, particularly for those that are in Leap and that are recently joined Leap and are having an event coming up soon, your first Obvio build is included in your Leap membership. And so we often can use these calls to do the build. And that can be really helpful for everyone, particularly for the person that is getting theirs built, but also for everyone else that is watching along, playing along at home. And you inevitably will learn things as you see the build get built out. And often what we try to do, we have the last couple as well, is make that recording available for people as well if you want to step along as you're making your builds and learning how to build out the Obvio dashboard. So today we've got a couple of questions, but I think we'll be able to go through the build first. Does that work for you, Blue? Is that your?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm fine with whatever.
And then we can do. We've got some questions there as well, and we've got a more of a tech questions. And this is the thing too, is that Blue and I particularly can get dragged into tech questions very easily on these calls, but we tend to prioritize the Obvio specific questions first. And so Melanie has a question about PowerPoint, things like that, and we'll be happily answer that a bit later once we get past the build and then another couple of questions. I think Kat's got something about go high level. We can have a look at that. And Jane, something about a tagline for the email. Oh, that might be something specifically Blue might be able to answer. Anyway, if we have the images now, did you look at them, Blue? Does it look like they're transparent?
Oh, I didn't actually look at them. Sorry, I was distracted by my wife. It does look like they are transparent. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Hey, Priscilla, you may not know the answer to this question, but do you have a thought as to which template you want to use for
Yes.
your
Yep.
dashboard?
I've looked at it. Classic.
You want to use the classic. Okay.
Classic, no gamification, just, I just need a simple Avio dashboard for now. And then if I want to add to it, I can. But my
Yes.
event's in a week, so, and I do have, I can send you also the link to my, the virtual live event and also the sales page for my high ticket offer. I can send you those links as well if you need them.
Cool. Yep. No worries. I think I've got what I need because I'm pretty sure that.
I sent it to Elizabeth yesterday.
Yeah, and she forwarded it to me. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So let's take a quick peek. What organization? What's your organization name? Do you know?
Women called for more. And I have that set up in, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so women called for more, and
Does the event name have to be Women Called for More live virtual event, or should it just be called?
I mean,
Because that's
honestly,
what I'm calling it. But
sure.
okay.
And what time zone do you live in? You talk. It looks like you talk. Your website references Eastern, so I'm going to talk in Eastern here.
Correct. So yeah.
And your event is 7th through the 9th, so I'm going to have it start a few days before.
Perfect.
And I'm going to have it end a couple days after.
Perfect.
And I don't know how many people you have coming, but I'm just going to put
That's
that there
perfect.
for now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to create and select classic.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when I'm starting, when I'm working inside of Obvio, I usually start with an empty template just because that's a little bit easier for me.
Okay.
But for those of you that actually want to have the demo sample data included, you can click this view sample data button that will open, or a sample dashboard that'll actually open up a dashboard in the template that you're talking about that's fully functional to a point. So you can see what it's going to look like. And then what we do is if you want to select that dashboard and include all of the demo sample data, images, buttons, all of that jazz in your, like, to get started, you can select that. But for me, I'm just going to start with an empty template. Main reason I start with an empty template, truthfully, it's easier for me to build and just do those things and do stuff rather than having to go through and delete all the stuff I don't want. So for me personally, it's easier because myself and Grant, we work we tend to work inside of Obvio pretty much daily. So that it's pretty easy for us to deal with this stuff. So starting with colors, I'm actually going to, so the first stop that I make once I create a new dashboard or a new event and I create the template or I select the template is I head over to the dashboard to kind of create the basic outline of what it is that I'm hoping to do, and I start updating colors. So we're going to start with the header, and I have on my screen, I'll show my full screen just for a moment. The tools that I kind of keep open, or the things that I keep open, is I have your event right here, so I can get access to colors and just general styling that you've used, so I get a sense of what it is that you have here. Then I also have this little tool called Color Slurp, which I like because it allows me to pick colors from your event website. I know you happen to have sent me colors, like you sent me the yellow brown, you sent me the light green, the dark green, and the darker green. But if people don't send me that, which they usually don't, I can just kind of grab whichever
nice.
color I want, and then it gives me the hex code for that color.
Wow.
So for me, this is how I tend to build dashboards, but I'm going to switch back to just showing yours, because most people would probably get really annoyed by having to look at that much content on their laptops if that's what you're on, because my screen's a little bit wider than most. So I'm going to start by uploading the logo, and let's see, did I upload the right one?
Yeah, there's two. I sent you two.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the one with virtual event in it. For classic, to be honest with you, I'm going to start with just the logo only, because I think it'll look better. Main reason for that is the classic template has this header across the top, and all it really has in it is the logo. And the taller the logo is, the more space the header takes up unnecessarily. So what I prefer personally is a much wider logo for headers on the classic template.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so and I don't think it matters that it's missing the word live virtual event, because once they get to this point, they've already registered for your event. They've just clicked on the link from your email. They know they're coming to an event. So for me, it doesn't matter. If you want it there, we can use that image as well. I'm not married to any decisions I make on these calls.
Well, that's fine. And I'm also open. If you say, hey, look, with the artwork you've given me or whatever, why don't you try this template, so that it has the live virtual event.
I think we're probably in a good place. So
Great. Okay. Awesome.
The other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back into the settings for the header, and I'm going to go to styling, and I'm going to change the menu icon, the little hamburger up here on the three lines. I'm going to change it to be your green. And then I'm also going to change the background color to be your green as well. So now when somebody clicks on this little button, the menu that comes out is your colors rather than branded, and it also changes that blue color that's in the header to be your green.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a quick edit to the hero text, the welcome text. I'm going to say, welcome to the live virtual event. So now, if you are at all concerned about people not understanding that they're at the live virtual event, now they are.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So far it's a little bit bigger than the logo. You can play around with this,
Mhm, mhm,
and you can make the logo a little bit bigger. In order to do that, you'd have to increase the header height, and then
mhm.
you can increase the logo size a little bit. Those
Okay,
two things
cool.
work hand in hand.
Awesome.
The other thing I'm going to do, just because I don't see any in your, I don't see any elements with shades in your background. I'm going to disable the shadow.
Mhm, mhm. Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick this gray color that you have as your primary background, and I am going to change that to be that. Okay,
Oh, nice.
so
Okay.
so I've taken the this gray color
Mm-hmm.
that you use in a couple of different areas,
Mm-hmm.
and I've made it the primary background
Mm-hmm.
for your dashboard.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So next thing, let's create a button. I'm actually going to drop into Zoom areas for a moment, and I'm going to create a new Zoom area called main stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we have something we can point the button to. And now I'm going to go back to dashboard and
Mm-hmm.
create a new button.
Mm-hmm.
And the button that I'm going to say is join the main stage. And then I'm going to put a video icon in there. And we're going to point it to the main stage area. So I'm going to click save just so you see how the default styling
nice.
for buttons work. Well,
Mhm.
not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. It's not nice yet. We're getting there.
No,
So
I'm
I'm
just
going to do
excited.
so I'm going to do a couple of things from here. Number one, because I don't think you're going to have very many buttons, I'm going to increase the height a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going to decrease the width. I'm going to bring it down to 8.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
And then all of your buttons on your dashboard are that kind of maizy yellow that you've got going on. So I am going to grab that color, and we're going to make the background color of your button that.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And then I also noticed that you have what's probably a black border on the button. It's super thin, so it's actually, you know what? It's actually a really dark green.
It's on my color palette. It's one of the dark colors. So
Yep.
if you look,
I got it. I'm good.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and put that as the color, and then I'm going to make it just 1 pixel wide because that's basically what you've done.
Great.
And then I'm going to make a 5 pixel border radius.
Mm-hmm.
So now this button looks almost exactly like your buttons on your dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or on your sales page. So
Yep.
what I'm trying to do in this moment or in this instance is I'm trying to make the main page or your event dashboard look as close as possible to your main site, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. Okay, so now if I click preview, I've got your logo up at the top. We've got a join the main stage button. At some point, you're going to have a high ticket offer. So I'm just going to copy this button. I'm going to send this to a link. The link I'm going to put it into. Actually, you know what? You gave me the link for your high ticket offer funnel. I got it. I got it. And I'm going to open it in a new tab.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm actually going to click on it for a moment and see if there's anything. No, nothing in here that I'm going to worry about in this moment. But I may change. I think I'm actually going to swap these colors for this particular image. So rather than the green outline, I'm going to make the I'm going to make this button green with a yellow outline just to make it a little bit different and kind of make it stand out. It may work, it may not. We can always change it back if we don't like it.
Which one are you referring to, Blue?
The new button that I'm making for you,
Oh, okay.
which is this.
Oh, okay.
What's your thing called? Program called
Women Called for More? Yeah.
So the event is called Women Called for More, and the program's called Women Called for More.
I don't know what my high ticket offer. I don't know what the high ticket offer is called yet. But Jason and I agreed with Women Called for More /go. And that's on the sales page. That's where we're at right now because we're building the plane while flying it.
Yeah, no worries. Just thinking.
I'm all in for more. That's perfect. For now.
Yeah, for now. For now, it's perfect. Try something that may or may not work. Do you happen to have, you know, the 4 circles?
Yes.
Do you have those 4 circles as a standalone image?
Yes, I do.
Do you have that as a PNG?
Yes, I do.
Can you drop that into the Zoom chat?
Mhm. I got it in there. Do you see it?
I do, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see if this works. This actually may be better on if we're going to use that. I was kind of thinking this may work.
I also have just the gold star if you want that too for anything.
Why don't you drop just the gold star on there? Let's see how that
Oops,
behaves.
Can I have a gold star?
You can have
no gold star for you, Grant.
Oh.
Don't just be giving that shit away, Priscilla. Come on now.
Everybody gets a gold star.
And you get a gold star, and you get a gold star. Gold star.
That would be cool to incorporate. Yes, I was going to say the gold star in the I'm in for more.
Yeah, and then I actually think for this one, we can also make the font, because I'm using the darker color, we can go all in like that. Possibly a little lighter, kind of like that. There we go. Okay, there we go. So there's your all in for more. Right now it is pointed to Google. No, it's pointed to the right. Oh, look at that. It's pointed to the right page. Okay, so now from there, the next thing that I would probably do, because for me, this is essentially the outline of your dashboard, right? I mean, we still have to put some stuff in the sidebar here, so I'm going to put a couple things for you. The first thing that I'm going to do is see if I have something for just give me one sec. So I have a Chat GPT thread,
Mm-hmm.
and and basically what I do regularly is every time I need to write a welcome letter for one of our clients,
Mm-hmm.
is I take the users or the client's page, their website, their sales page, and I
Mm-hmm.
drop it into the thread, and I say, can literally all I say is, can you rewrite the welcome letter and have it match the sales page?
Oh, nice.
So what I'm going to put on your page, you do not, I have zero ownership over, because I am going to put a welcome note on here for you.
Perfect.
You should, um, you should double check to make sure that it that it actually matches,
Mm-hmm.
because it is, of course, keep in mind, taking hours, like our welcome letter, and rewriting it for your event. Okay.
Wow. So you went into chat, you took my,
So we have a welcome letter that we wrote for TVE. In all honesty, at this point, we wrote it 5 years ago, and we
okay,
just continue to modify it every event. So I have a Chat GPT thread that has that original welcome letter in it, and all I did is said, "Hey, I need you to take this letter, update the language, like the tone of the language, and update the content of the welcome note, and have it match the sales page." And
excellent.
and then I give it your sales page, and
Oh,
it
wow.
rewrites it for me, and it puts the right dates and times in there.
Amazing.
Gives you a little bit of information that looks like this is probably your stuff.
Yeah.
Camera on, heart open. That's definitely not our language, right? It's using your language, not mine. Um, and then signs it from you. So what I
Perfect.
want you to do is, like, make sure you go through this
I will.
and make sure that it matches, right? Because
Yep.
it is. I'm putting something there for you, so you have a starting point.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, so next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some changes to the sidebar, so it's not so, honestly, so it's not so blue. And we're going to start by picking, I think I'm going to pick one of your greens as the background, probably the dark green. And then I'm going to make the text color light and the link color also pretty light. And then I'm not going to put a border on it. Actually, you know what? Let's put a border on this one. Let's put, just similar to your buttons, I'm just going to put a really thin yellow border on it, just so that it has a little something in there. And then I'm going to make the border radius on this a little heavier than the buttons. So ideally, it looks a little bit different. So now this sidebar where some content is going to go is a little more styled. So again, if I pop up here and I click preview, I'm starting to see I'm starting to see it come together, right?
And radius is really rounded corners. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know, developer speak, which always fun.
And it is.
While I'm here, I'm also going to make a change to your footer and actually add in this copyright text. Do you have any copyright text on your? You do. Look at that. Here we go. Oh no, you don't.
I'd be surprised if I did. Because Jason's been helping me, so. Mhm.
Yeah, no worries. So you do technically, on your page, you have a privacy policy and a refund policy.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to put those under the terms and.
Okay. I still haven't created mine. I know that I have the one from Leap that you sent me, so I'll get that up.
Right. Yeah. All good. All right. And then I'm also going to upload your image, your logo down here. And this one, I'll put the virtual event on. Let's see how this behaves. This may work well. Yeah, it's not horrible. There we go. Okay. So now the piece that is really left for this particular dashboard at this point is what are we going to put in the sidebar? So I'm going to start by putting, are you going to have an agenda or anything that you have people download?
Yeah, I think I will have, downloadable um, uh, documents or whatever, the word's not coming to me, but every day. So my 3 days is, what is it? Awaken, align, and act. Those are my 3 days. What is that downloadable? What is it? Not a brochure, notebook. You know what I mean? What you guys did, but I'll probably do it paid day by day.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay.
Workbook?
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Very clever. Uh,
All right, so what I'm doing right here is I'm just putting a start and end time to 3 days on
Mhm.
your event,
Mhm.
and I'm just having it match what you had on your website,
Perfect.
and then we'll call this one day 1, and then we'll add another one. And then uh, um, it's on and it's pointed to the lobby, so that is correct. And let me just double check to make sure that the lobby is open. And it is. Let me double check the rules. There are no rules. You should be good. Mm-hmm. Oop, that's not the right day, is it? Let's make that October 9th or November 9th. Day 3, save. Okay, so now we have a small event agenda.
Mhm.
I'm going to remove the separators between the bars. And now I'm going to add one more thing, which is downloadable resources. And then I'm going to put the resources below the agenda for now, I think.
Mhm.
Just because, well, just because if you want to change the order, you can just click on the
Mhm.
handle, these 2 bars, and just drag it up, and that'll change the order.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
beautiful.
so pretty easy to do. So I'm going to call this event downloads. Below are downloads to make your event experience the best it can be. Click save, and then I'm going to add a resource, and I'm just going to say resource goes here, and book. There's a workbook if you wanted, and then click save. So you can add as many as you want, and you just have to go in here, hover over it, click the gear, and drag or click and upload your
Okay.
content right
Perfect.
there.
Mhm.
If you're saving the PDF on Google,
Mhm.
like Drive or Dropbox instead, you can change it to a link instead of a file.
Okay.
You can also add additional resources there, right? So if you wanted to make a link to a Facebook group or your Instagram account or what have you, you can do that
I
stuff
just
as
add
well.
resource. Okay, no, that's yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
And I probably will, but this is pretty easy. And I know Melanie said she can help me with stuff, so.
Yeah. So that's probably how I would start. Obviously, I'm all in for more is probably going to be disabled to start your event, but
Mhm.
at least you see it there. So the next thing that I'm going to do a couple of other things. I'm going to go into settings.
Mhm.
It's a nice little cliffhanger. He's going to go into settings and
And turn on the allow email only login. That's number
Okay.
one.
Mhm.
And then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to design and go to login. And we want to update the login so that it matches your brand, of course, not Obvio's. So in this case, actually, we'll put the virtual event icon there as well.
Mhm.
And then I think I'm going to delete the background image, but make the color itself
Mhm.
that same kind of gray tone rather than white
Mhm.
that we have, like that. And then I'm going to put log in using the email address you registered for the event with. All right, and click save. And then we're going to make some changes here to make the colors match. So start with just changing the border color and the text color. So it's the dark green.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to go into the button settings and change this so that it matches your
The gold.
yellow, the
Yeah.
yellow gold style.
Mhm.
And then I'm also going to adjust the border so that it has that. Oops. So that it also matches your styling. So a 1 pixel border
Mhm.
and a small radius like that.
Mhm.
So now your login page will look like that, except when you actually log into it, it won't have the white bars like the preview does.
Why not? Why? Wait.
That's a bug that
Oh, okay.
that shouldn't be there. How about that?
Mhm. Okay, perfect.
So now, if I, at least I think, let's see, women25.obv.io. Yeah. So this is what the login page looks like
Oh, great.
when you actually go to it. And then if I go in and I add an attendee just to see how an attendee is going to see things.
Mhm.
And click on the attendee's login link.
Mhm.
This is how it's going to look for an attendee.
That looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, and it's easy to continue to make changes. You can add additional blog posts really easily. You can add buttons to the sidebar if you wanted to. You can add additional resources. You can change the order of things. But generally speaking, that's a good starting point.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
no
this
worries.
is recorded and there's a YouTube channel for it, correct? So,
yeah.
okay, great. Or the recordings are here. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
The what we do is each week we live stream only really for the reason for easy recordings, right? That's why we live stream it. And then there's a YouTube playlist that sits on the Obvio dashboard. So as soon as you come to this event, the Q&A, like the updates event, then you'll see that playlist sitting on the dashboard, and the latest one will be this video.
Great,
So,
thank you.
in
Thank you.
fact, it's there
Thank
now.
you, Blue. Thank you, Grant.
No worries. You're
No
welcome.
worries.
All right. Now there's a question that we have. Let's have a look. So you, Priscilla, you got your question answered about the magic link. You're all good there.
Well, it was, the question was from Melanie. So she just said, for her event, because she has active campaign. So, if someone needs the magic link for her event, can she send it from within Obvio? Does Obvio have an emailing function, or does she need to send it out through her CRM?
Okay. So yes, there is a broadcast. You can send emails directly from Obvio. So that's possible. But if you have a CRM connected and it's getting the magic link back in there, it may be where you want to send most of your emails. There's a caveat to that, and that's about deliverability. But if it's working well with the CRM, then the advantage of being able to send all the emails through the CRM is the history that you have with that customer, because you have a long history. You can see that they, the emails that they opened, they attended this event, and then they attended another event, that sort of thing. Whereas sending it through Obvio, while that's can be easy and the deliverability can be very good, that's one of the things that that we enjoy from sending emails from Obvio. That you've sort of got those two options, right? To be able to send. So if you have it connected, and it's sending the magic link back to the CRM, then send it from there.
I mean, it does. That's usually how she sends all the communications out. This was in the event specifically. If, let's say, someone's registered for the event, but they can't find their magic link, and I'm her AV support, and so she was curious whether or not we can quickly just send a magic link from Obvio.
Yes.
And if not, there's a workaround we know how to do. And so how would where would they find that within Obvio? Under what area of Obvio to send the email?
Under broadcasts. Yeah. So there's communication, and then it's broadcasts.
Okay.
And so we can. So Blue, I just need to step away in a second. Yeah. So Blue, I'm interested in your thoughts, because I think you do both. You do send from the CRM, like you'll send from Keep for TVE, and then you would also use broadcast from Obvio, mostly for deliverability and ease of scheduling and all of that sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, it's actually easier to send a quick one-off email to attendees straight from Obvio, because I just go to the event, you go to broadcast, you create a new email, type it in, click send. Kinda. It's a little more than that, but not much. So there's one main step that I get to skip by doing that. When I go into my CRM, I have to select the audience, right? And make sure that I include the right people and exclude the right people. And that's just kind of done naturally by default inside of Obvio, because the only people who are in my event are my attendees. So it's really easy to send emails just to my attendees. So that's one reason why I do it. The other reason I do it is I find for us anyway, this isn't true of everybody, but for our email deliverability, I get better email deliverability when sending emails from my from Obvio rather than from my my CRM.
Yeah, I think something worth mentioning as well is the filtering. So particularly for attendees that haven't yet shown up or checked in, as the technical term for us that have gone to the dashboard, makes it really easy in Obvio to just to be able to send another email specifically to people who haven't yet arrived, right? And so it's nice to be able to schedule that 10 minutes into your event, 30 minutes into the event, whatever you want to do. You can say, hey, we're missing you. We've started, whatever it is. That's really handy to be able to do those, specifically target those people that haven't yet come.
And that's you're talking now, Grant, from Obvio, not going
from
to.
Obvio.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. No, very clear.
There's lots of overlap in the functionality of what we're talking about, though. And so when you connect a CRM, one of the things is tags going back to the CRM to say that they have checked in, right? And so you're getting that the attendees created, and so everything's worked. Obvio has received the contact details, and so it's saying attendees created, and then it's saying checked in, which means that depending on what settings you have on the steps for how they get to the dashboard, essentially when they get to the dashboard, it sends that checked in tag back to your CRM, which now you can somewhat use. That doesn't mean that they ended up in Zoom yet, but it does mean that they've been to the dashboard. So at least you can filter people that haven't even gone to the dashboard yet. You can be pretty confident that they haven't actually come to your event.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a little bit of overlap of what you can do directly in Obvio, as well as what you could do in your CRM going forward. So,
okay. Thank you.
no problems. So I'm going to jump out, but I'm going to give a question to Blue. And yes, Kat. Is Kat online? Kat King? Kat King, yes. Asking about if she's added Go High Level correctly in Obvio for the 3-day event in November. Kat, do you want to talk that through?
Yeah, can I share?
Yeah.
It's not on yet.
Go ahead now. Yep, you can now.
Okay, so you can see I've already linked it right there. And
So you're halfway there.
Yeah.
It's not currently linked. I mean, it's not currently completely linked.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things that you want to do. The most important one being what custom field inside of GHL are you going to store the magic link in, the login URL in? Do you have that custom field created?
Well, Melissa's working on Go High Level and her daughter's got a fever, so she can't be here right now. So I don't know. What would you suggest? Because we'll do whatever you suggest.
This is, I suggest you have a custom field that is created and ready to be used inside of GHL.
Such as?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it pink polka dots and flying bunnies.
November.
Like here.
November 25.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it something that is going to make sense to you, Kat.
November 25.
Sure. So so that's action tags. That's not it. Right above that, where it says login URL field. But you need to do this in GHL first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You need to create the field.
High level field. Okay.
And then once you've done that, then you come back here and create
URL field.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once you do that, you click save and then you click import attendees. Have you set up your integration so that when you sell a ticket or when somebody registers that they get that Obvio import tag? I'm guessing that step has not yet been done either. So that needs to happen. Do you see that Obvio Passion 10.0.225?
Yes.
So that specific tag needs to be applied to all new attendees.
That exact number.
That exact number exactly as it is.
Okay. And that's in Go High Level.
Yes.
Passion.
And then what technically happens is when the attendee gets that tag, they get in Go High Level sends over some information to Obvio and says, hey, this contact just got this tag. I think they're an attendee. And then Obvio imports them, creates a magic link, and writes it back to the contact's custom field, where you now have where you will now have their login link.
Okay, so
And what I would say
Okay, yes,
is
sir.
your best bet is
Yes.
have Melissa, and did you say her daughter was the one who's doing the work?
Her daughter's ill, throwing up.
Okay, when
She's
she's
4
not
years old.
when she's okay, so I'm sorry. So okay, got it. So Melissa's the one doing the work. She's just taking care of her daughter currently.
I'm doing Obvio. She's doing Go High Level, sort of. Yeah.
I would suggest she hop on a call because some of this work has to happen in GHL.
I'll go do it. So number one, I need to go. Which one happens first? The first, I know I need to Go High Level and put that exact tag in Go High Level. I'm not exactly where in Go High Level, but somewhere I need to put a tag for all attendees.
Correct.
Okay. And the second thing I need to do in Go High Level is to make a URL field that says whatever I want it to, like November 25, and I need to tell it to save import attendees. I have to save it and then I have to tell it to import attendees.
Here in Obvio.
And that's, the import attendees is in Obvio.
Yeah.
The Go High Level tag is in the tag is in Go High Level, and then come back, save it, come back and import attendees in Obvio. And then in Go High Level, I need to put a tag that has that code in it.
So those of you who use GHL, remind me, what are automations called? What are campaigns called? Is it workflows?
Workflows.
Workflows. So Kat, do you know anything about workflows in Go High Level?
Well, it's right here. So,
Do
well,
you kn-
I was learning it in ClickFunnels. So I knew ClickFunnels, but Melissa liked Go High Level better, so we went to Go High Level. So since she liked it better, I let her do it.
Okay. So basically you have to, in Go High Level, you can do this manually or you can do it in an automated fashion. For every
Okay.
person who signs up for your event, you need to apply the tag that's in Obvio, that tag right at the top. Exactly
Yeah,
as it's written.
got that.
No differences.
I got it.
Okay, like no spaces.
100225.
Nope, that's not it. Actually, it's Obvio-Passion
Right.
100225.
I wrote
It's
it all.
the entire thing.
Obvio.passion.100225. Got it.
Sure. Yep. And you can just press the little copy icon over on the
Yeah.
right-hand side of that field, and it'll copy it for you so you don't have to type it.
Yep. Got it.
And then you have to apply that tag to all of your attendees in Go High Level.
Apply. Got it.
And you can do that through automations, or you can do it manually. Either one technically will work. The
Okay.
ending result is the exact same.
Okay.
In
Thank you.
addition to that, you need a custom field for contacts where you're going to save their login URL. It's just a text field. And you can call it November 2025 login URL or whatever you want.
Okay.
And then once you do that, then you come in here and you input that field into the login URL field. And then you click save. Once you do that, you then click import attendees. And that will import any attendees who already have the tag into the application, into Obvio. And then going forward, any new attendees will get automatically imported.
Okay. I think I understand it. Thank you.
Okay. And then once Melissa eyeballs it, if you guys aren't sure, then come on back and have her come back with you and we can answer any questions you have.
Okay.
All
Then,
right.
okay. Thank you.
Did you have a follow-up? Were you saying something else?
Yeah, I had a couple more questions. One was about the magic link. I wanted to find out on the broadcast what you were just saying from Obvio. Does this include their magic link when they receive the email? But that's after we link them and everything. And if I link them the right way with Go High Level, when we do the broadcast, when they send it out, like you all send it out to us, it always has that link on there so that when we get the text, we just have to click on there and it's right there.
Right.
Will that broadcast also do that?
If you include it, yes.
Okay.
But you have to include it. You have to include whether you do it from Obvio, you have to, or you do it from GHL, you have to merge in that field into the broadcast.
So when we do a new broadcast, we have to tell it where here to do somewhere here. Checked in users not okay.
So
I'll
down
try
in
to get
it
at
where
that.
you write the email, down in the
Oh.
bottom, the last piece right down.
Oh, when you write the email down here.
Yeah. So when you're ready to insert type whatever, like, hi there, this is an email, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Folks.
Perfect. Now, let's say here's where you want to get your link here. Perfect. All right. Now click on where it says variables and click login URL.
Oh,
There
not
you go.
that one.
Now
Oh, it is that one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Now what'll happen is when the email is sent, the system will replace that little tag of text with the login URL.
Very cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, email. So that can come magic link from Obvio and not from Go High Level. I like that better. And this can also, I saw right there, it also said checked in. And this is where we can do the not checked in gets the email.
Yep.
Also to remind them, right there.
Yep.
So these are the ones I can tell myself, make sure you send this at this time. Make sure you send this at this time.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you
Thank
can
you so
time
much.
them. You can time them where it says send at. You can time them to be sent in the future. So you can set all this up in advance.
This send at, I gotcha. And you can do several of them, right?
Yep.
Distribute over time. Gotcha.
I wouldn't worry about distributing it over time. That is something that is for really large.
Okay. So I can have one in email for checked in users and another email for not checked in users, right? And at different times.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Or at the same time.
Okay. Thank you so much. That helps a whole lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Martin asked if there's any issues between Obvio and Go High Level. I don't believe so. Not that I'm aware of currently.
Not that I'm aware of either. I've been using straight Go High Level to Avio and not been using Zapier for the last 4 months with no issue.
Okay. Martin, did you hear that? I see you're unmuted, but I don't
Hello.
hear you. Hey, how's it going?
Drivers reinstalled. I didn't realize I wasn't on camera. Yeah. So in the past, I've had to do a Zapier thing because it would like not take forever, and you guys had said there was an API update, and I haven't been to a lot of Leap things in several months, so I didn't know if that has gotten resolved, and so I'd like to make sure I don't have to do that because that costs me to do in time and credits in a different system when I shouldn't have to do that. So I knew you were working on it. I just didn't know if it ever got resolved.
It has been resolved. Yes.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah. So we changed the process entirely.
Mhm.
So it no longer pulls information every 10 minutes. It now receives webhooks automatically from Obvio or from Go High Level. You don't have to set them up. It happens through the integration in the background. And I don't want to say it's instant, but within a couple of minutes of
Oh yeah, no,
somebody getting the
before it
tag.
would take hours. So
Yeah, no, that's been resolved.
yay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Because I have an event on Sunday that I'm trying to do a quick, doing a meeting on Sunday, and I want to use Avio for it. It's going to be a recurring thing. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You should be good. All right. A couple of other questions. Son, I actually recorded a video that's about 30 minutes long and sent it out earlier today. Did you get that email? So you should have. I can drop.
I know you say you're gonna send an email yesterday,
Okay,
but I haven't.
we can check.
And I can probably drop the link the link is was also posted on Facebook. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about it, but I did it's the total video is about 30 minutes long.
Okay.
And it goes through exactly what I would have gone through yesterday. It would have taken me longer to go through it yesterday because I probably would have asked or answered questions along the way. But it yeah, I think it's 30 minutes. So I just posted the link in the chat. It's just a Loom video, but it does show you exactly what I was going to show you yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And it is resolved.
Oh, good.
Yeah, at least in all of our testing, it's resolved. That's not to say that there won't be something that's not resolved, but from what we can tell, it's resolved. Okay, Jane. Is Jane still here? I saw Jane. Where'd Jane go? Jane left. Okay. Amy, you started putting a button in your broadcast so that they would see the link, but they often don't see the click here. To think of it as the link to their Zoom meeting. Is that a question or a statement?
It's more of a statement.
Okay.
I think we talked about it at one point a couple meetings ago, and somebody had mentioned it, maybe you or Blue or Grant, and I said, what a great idea. I'm going to start doing that. And at that time, Kat had said she wanted to look over my shoulder when I did it. So I made a video of how to make the button and add the login link.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
No worries.
Hey, Amy, it's Grant. So you were talking about having the login link as a button as well as a link further down, like for people that may miss that it's a button or may miss that it's a link. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And somewhere in
That's great.
conversation a couple times before, somebody said that they thought they would put it in as a button, and I was like, that's a great idea. Because I have a lot of people who say, I never got they use the word never a lot. I never got that email. I can't get into that. I didn't get the link. I'm like, it's in the email you get every 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that 100%. So generally speaking, yeah, we put click here with that's clickable. It's not uncommon for us to put a button in the email, and then it's also not uncommon for us to at the bottom of the email put the full link in, like the ugly link in, just as plain text. And we don't make it clickable, but the reality is like 99% of email readers will make it clickable, right? So if you send somebody a link, even if you don't make it a hyperlink, your phone, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook, Apple Mail, like they all make those links clickable, even if you don't make it a hyperlink. So we just insert it as plain text, and it does the job.
Cool. And it took me a minute when I made the first button to figure out how to change it from new button, but I figured that out.
Yes, there's a little T that you have to press that is for text that could potentially be restructured or reformatted slightly. All right.
Yes, Mighty, and I do pretty much the same thing. Click this button.
Yeah, exactly. Click right here, please. Okay. From Melanie, could you please share how to share a PowerPoint in Obvio/Zoom, keeping me on camera at least part of the time while sharing? I have a Rodecaster video and a Mac Mini M4. How would we do this? So honestly, Melanie, and I think you're watching the recording, the easy way to do this is to start and stop sharing. So when you want you to be on screen, you stop sharing. When you don't want you to be on, like when you want them to see your slides, you share screen. Now, alternatively, if you would like it to be a little bit more elegant, in an ideal world, you would have another computer plugged in via HDMI into your Rodecaster video. So you'd have your cameras as, let's say, 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3. And then number 4 would be an HDMI cable. Pardon me. An HDMI cable coming out of your secondary computer plugged into your Rodecaster video, so you could switch to it kind of like this, right? So I'm now showing you a graphic, but hey, Melanie, but I'm right here. So you can do that, and then on your Rodecaster video, cut back and forth. That's an ideal way to do it. An alternate way to do it, if you don't have another computer, the alternate way to do it would be to connect your primary computer into your into your Rodecaster, and have the Rodecaster also via HDMI, and have your Mac see the Rodecaster as an external display. This is a little bit more complicated, but you could do it. And you would have, in that particular case, you don't allow the Mac or PC to work in mirrored mode. You have it work in extended display mode. So that HDMI cable plugged into your Rodecaster becomes an external monitor. And it's a little funky because when you go to play your PowerPoint, you have to make sure your PowerPoint gets played on that external monitor, but you don't actually have an external monitor. but your Mac sees it as one because it's an input on your Rodecaster. So you switch, like how I would do it is I would switch to the input for the Rodecaster. I would have the software for the Rodecaster open on my primary laptop display and cut and switch to that secondary output. And I'm gonna see that external monitor. And it's a little kind of inception because you then drag the window over off of your screen onto the Rodecaster, and inside the Rodecaster software, it'll like appear there. So it's a little funky, but it's definitely doable using one computer instead of two. Two computers just makes your life a little easier. And the other thing is, you know, you've invested enough in gear. If I was you and I could afford to buy another even used computer,
I have an old PC here.
yeah, then I would use a secondary computer. It's just going to be a little bit easier to set up a second computer plugged into your Rodecaster video and have it be in mirrored mode. There's two reasons for it. Number one, what you see on your secondary PC is the exact same thing that the Rodecaster sees. So there's no inception. It's really easier. It's easy to just cut from one to the other. The other reason that I would be wanting to do that is when we're doing a live event, I prefer to have single-use devices. Okay. Because if I have you can have a computer that's running Zoom, that's running PowerPoint, that's connected to the Rodecaster, that's running your Rodecaster software, and is also, I don't know, checking your email all at the same time. But if the computer crashes, you lose everything. Just from a it's not really redundancy perspective, but from a safety perspective, I prefer to have things that are single use, because if that thing fails, I only lose that one thing, right? So if your older computer that's running PowerPoint fails, you lose PowerPoint for a few minutes, but you're still in Zoom and you can still have conversations and it's no problem. So that's my personal preference at all times. It also means that we have an abundance of stuff, but it is what it is.
So Blue, she came in just after you started sharing. She missed the first part, which was you said, well, you can always have an extra monitor. And then you went to the more complex
situation. What I said was you can always just share your screen, start and stop sharing screen.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, given that you have the Rodecaster video, if you have an available HDMI input, which you probably do, because
I know I do.
Yeah. Then that's a more elegant solution, because then as you're talking, you can cut to a PowerPoint deck the same way I have, and then cut back the same way I did, just by pressing the, I don't remember what the button is.
It doesn't matter. We have plenty. Yeah. Thank you, Blue. I got here right on time.
Yeah, perfect.
Out doing shopping for my event this weekend.
Sweet. Muddy, do you have something to add?
Yeah, just the one thing I have found, is as a quick pro tip, because I agree with everything Blue said, and the challenge when connecting it in extended mode is you can't see it until you switch to that input, or until somehow you're monitoring it in, multi-view or something like that. And so one of the things that I often do, the whole idea is you're connecting it as an HDMI source. And so the thing I do is put a small HDMI splitter in place. So it comes from the computer to a splitter, which then makes two HDMI sources. One goes into the Rodecaster and another goes into a dedicated monitor. So it solves the same purpose that Blue is saying. Whatever you see on the monitor is what's going to show on that input in the Rodecaster. So, and you could, because one thing I have found, a caveat is, one thing I have found when putting a PC into a second display and having it in mirror mode, when you go to start PowerPoint wants to use presenter view, And sometimes it actually splits those two screens and it puts presenter view on one and the slideshow on the other, which is actually fine as long as it picks the right screen, right? As long as and that's a setting in PowerPoint. But yeah, the pro tip is an HDMI splitter is one way to solve that problem. But good advice from Blue.
Yeah, and Priscilla and I will rehearse.
Cool.
So thank you guys.
Yeah, and if you don't have an external monitor,
We do.
Okay, cool. Well, and for the
He's got a lot of gear here.
We've got too much gear, right, Jason?
Yeah. I'll also say I just dropped a link in the chat. This is a cheap little 15-inch monitor. Cheap being $50. And I use that with my Rodecaster at my desk in Merle's Inlet, like at our other house. I literally have that monitor. It just sits there, and it acts as a so if you didn't have a monitor, an inexpensive option is these like.
I literally have one that's not being used right now.
Perfect.
That was less than $100, I think.
And it's probably 50 inches. If that, yeah.
Yeah, 15.
Oh, 15, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are great. Thank
All
you.
All right.
Hey, Blue, there's also the side-by-side settings on the Videocaster too, right? Like I think there's some presets for side by side.
We have presets.
Yeah. We've already been.
Okay, great. Got all that worked out. Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys, we've come a long way. Thank you. Now this girl's been in it.
Awesome. All right. Let me see if actually, I don't see any other questions. Do you guys have any other questions that we can answer? If you do, either raise your physical or digital hand. Happy to unmute. Hey, Martin, go ahead. You should be able to unmute.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in a crazy space right now with my computer being. I got the very unhelpful message that you need to reboot because we've installed things and we know what's right for you right now. So I'm in this phase where devices are acting funny. I want to know what is your advice in dealing with people who seem to have forgotten that places like the United States have more than one time zone. And so when I say 3 p.m. CST, they just see 3 p.m. in their time. It's like it's the strangest thing that I've never experienced. People just such sets of people have no concept of time zones. They only know where they are at. And so I've done things like create a button similar to what you have with Add Event. I have a tool that does that for free where, it will add the calendar event to their calendar. But in the emails, one of the problems is I can't shift the actual text in the email messages that are reminders to their local time. I don't know of a way to do that. I'm not saying it cannot be done. I'm saying I don't know how to do that. I didn't know if Justin has any ideas. The only thing I was thinking to get around that is texting, because I've not done texting, and I figured texting might be the sort of take the problem differently. So you're just going to get a text that says 10 minutes from now, and that's it doesn't matter where you are, it's right there. You know what I mean? Similar to what you guys do. I've never incorporated texting due to ADP stuff, but you know what? I will deal with the ADP registration kind of issues if that's
just
there.
Give
But
yourself a couple of weeks to deal with that because that's not a fast process.
Yeah, I actually did it for a client right now. It seems to be going, but I just never wanted to deal with it in the past, but that was a suggestion Patty and I thought of. But I was just wondering, is there something else anybody has an idea for people who are just clueless on time zones, even though it's clearly stated in the message, if they look at it, if they click the add event button, but a lot of people don't work off of their calendars like we do. I live off of my calendars, but that's okay. The messages come on time, they do the stuff, but their people's brains are just not seeing that Central Standard Time or whatever. I don't know what to do about that because it was the strangest feedback from people.
At some point, Yeah, at some point, it's I believe the expression is you can't help stupid.
Yeah, I know. That's that literally was. It's so funny, Blue, that you say that. That is exactly the phrase that came into my brain. I was
Yeah.
just hoping there would be a more kind alternative.
No, totally. I mean, listen, I wouldn't respond with that to your clients. So I'll tell you what some people do. I've had clients who will actually put the three primary time zones in the United States, assuming that your primary clientele is in the US, right? So I've had clients who've done that. And actually, list all three time zones. I personally find that difficult to read, so I hate that. What I've also seen people do is pick a city. And honestly, the world makes it pretty easy for you, like Chicago time, LA time, New York time. I would probably go that route rather than calling it EST. Call it New York time, and then in
Just
brackets.
add that in parentheses. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're thinking that
I would make it like 6 p.m. New York time, and then in brackets ET.
You're saying that's a pattern. You think that's a pattern interrupt in their brain to go, oh, there's something different. Okay.
Yeah.
I would never have thought that.
I mean, I think if they're not seeing PST or CST, then again, pick a big city.
Okay. Yeah, the 3 time zones problem is a problem for me because I'm actually doing dynamic times. These events repeat at different times, and I have a way of doing that in GHL, which is just painful by using fixed variables where I would just duplicate it, and I don't like it because I don't have like the ability to truly program the way I would like to. Because if this was like something like .NET, I think I have an idea of how to do it, but I don't have that in Go High Level. I have what I have, and I was just wondering, you guys have done this. You've done so many events, and people come from multiple time zones. First of all, also, am I just the weird person who's not dealing with, who's dealing with?
No, I think we're all dealing with it. Just many of us are ignoring it. If you really want to go nerdy, Martin, on your sale, like you could go the route of. You could go the route on your sales page, on your opt-in form, of trying to figure out what time zone they're in based on IP address.
I know, and then I have to do math. I actually thought of that, and it's just painful inside of. If I was in a programming tool, that would be the exact route I'd go.
Yeah,
but in something like GHL, I have very limited calculation
I don't.
abilities.
No. You don't do it in GHL. You do it before you do it on form submission, like with a hidden field, right? And then have that hidden field go into a custom field in GHL, and then when you send the email out, you merge in the custom field that has their actual time, their actual start time.
But I'd have to do math relative to my start time for their time zone.
But you're probably doing math somewhere anyway.
Actually, no, I'm not.
Well, so regardless, but that math should happen on the website. Like it doesn't happen in GHL. The math happens through JavaScript, right? So like when the page loads, like if you spent 20 minutes with ChatGPT or Claude, you could probably get a snippet of JavaScript, or if you were smart like Grant, you could probably just write it yourself. But I'm dumb, so I would use ChatGPT or Claude and get a snippet of JavaScript, put a hidden field in the opt-in form, and on page load, dynamically populate that hidden field. So regardless of whether or not they submit the form, it's always pre-filled with their computer's time. Right? Time and time zone.
Yeah.
So you could yes, you'd have to do math, but given a little bit of creativity, you could probably do it on at the client side before it hits GHL. And when they are like, okay, I want to sign up for the next whatever it is time, the next thing, then when they click submit, in the background, they get first name, last name, email address, or whatever goes to GHL, but so does that hidden field, and then map that hidden field to a custom field.
Yeah, that's kind of creative. I'm not used to doing JavaScript, so but I like
Neither am
the
I,
idea of
but
using.
it's
I'll
not
use
like,
chat.
you know what
Use
what's really
ChatGPT.
what's really magical about it is you don't have to know how to do it at all. Like, you know, with a tiny bit of effort and like just testing, like just test it a few times.
Oh yeah.
And make sure that when you're talking to it, don't rely on IP address. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Rely on computer time.
Your time, yeah, exactly.
Because the client knows
the time zone,
the time
the
zone
web
that the
browser.
user has selected. Right? Now, this is not going to solve for people who are their computer is set to New York time and they're in LA.
Yeah.
It's not, and they're, you know, they're like, there are parents who didn't know how to change the VCR or set the VCR time, and it just constantly blinked midnight for 6 months after a power outage until you finally got sick of it and went and fixed it, right? It's not going to solve for those people. So just be aware. Sometimes, like, I would still include the time zone. Like, so when whatever that field is that you save, have it save the person's time zone as well.
As a custom field. I'll experiment with that idea. But before I even went down there, I was just kind of like curious, are you experiencing this problem? Because this is about, I'd say 10% of my community has, and maybe we're attracting this, or I was like, I've never seen things like this, and I expect different. I kind of expect the public to be that way, but business owners, that is just the weirdest thing to me. I know, and so just if y'all are experiencing, I'm just curious.
What's the other thing that people generally say? Individuals are smart, people are dumb. You know,
I've never heard that one. I like it.
So as an aggregate, it's like, why, how are these people so dumb? But you know, they're probably not. It's probably less than you think it is. It just feels like more. But
Sounds
still,
good.
I
But
do
I like
think
your idea. I know exactly what you're saying, and I've never thought of that. In fact, I'm not used to using ChatGPT because I'm an old-fashioned software engineer. So it's like, you know, that darn freaky evil AI doing things for me. No, I have to get over that. I am getting over that. So it just never occurred to me, oh yeah, I should just get a code snippet from ChatGPT. I know how to prompt it to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of things that I've that I've done, like the first time I actually had ChatGPT write something for me was like, I want to say 6 months ago. I was sitting in Durango in June trying to solve for a problem, and I was like, I know exactly what I want to have it do. I just like what I want to do. I just don't know how to write the code to do it. And somebody looked at me and said, you know, have you ever asked ChatGPT to write code for you? And I was like, well, no, I haven't. And they're like, try it. And that led me down a crazy train of, wow, you really, like, if you know what you want. People who say you can vibe code anything are full of shit. However, the people who say you can vibe code anything if you know exactly what you want and exactly how to ask for it and exactly what it should be doing, that's a little bit more accurate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martin, I was just going to add, I've got an Obvio event that I run every week, and it happens on a different time. It rotates between 3 different times: morning, afternoon, and night over 3 weeks. It's every week, which can be a little bit confusing for people, and they're people from all over the world. And the thing that I settled on is relative time, which is what you were talking about with the text messaging. And so I send out a 4-hour reminder. So in 4 hours, and I find that the 4 hours is good because it's basically like a half day in a way for people. It's like, okay, that's a half a day away, and a reminder of that. And then I do a 30-minute email reminder, and that works really well. And so I've got that set up to schedule automatically, and that works well. The other thing that I think around time zones, the chances are now in our world where attention is actually the biggest problem that we have, I think probably more so than time zones, is that the main reason people are not coming is that they're doing something else. Not that they got the time wrong, but I do think it is a thing, and so relative time is very helpful. It starts in 4 hours, it starts in 30 minutes. Has worked well for me.
Well, I normally send in my email messages a day before, 4 hours before, 2 hours before, 1 hour before, and at the live. So I'm very big on making sure you know you're coming here. It's still an issue of people, just the set of people. It's not everybody, but it was a small, by the way, it's 90% of people have no problem with this. This weird cohort of people who strongly complain about time zones, and I don't blah blah blah, and everything I do is local to me, and I'm like, okay. It was weird feedback coming from these business owners. And so first of all, I had the first reaction that you had, and I was like, okay, there must be a kinder way of doing this. We came up with the idea of texting because that is an immediate prompt, but that has, A to P drama, but I'm willing to go down that route if that resolves it. And I just wanted to know if this is even felt in the community at all, or am I just attracting weirdos?
So let's be super empathetic here. I live in a state that doesn't do any of this daylight savings. And if I never work with anyone outside the state, I don't have family outside the state, why would I care about time zones? But now I start working with you. Now I have to care about time zones. But in my whole life, I wouldn't have necessarily cared about time zones. So it is new for some people. I run across people all the time that their whole family lives in the same city. They do only local work. So they never have to think about what time is it in New York? What time is it in Houston? So there is a subset of the population that isn't like the rest of us that have worked as part of a global workforce. And so you will have to deal with it a little bit. And there, we gave you some options, some JavaScript stuff. Muddy gave you an option in the chat that you could actually add some calendar links in there. They're the calendar, pretty much every calendar system in the world. If you
Oh no,
sure
I put my version. I always have the calendar links. It's the issue that of the people who this subset also don't work in calendars. That's just so because if you had the calendar link, this wasn't an issue. It's the fact that they don't work in calendars and they don't know time zones. That's
And
this
so
cohort.
I threw a link in above that one. That is you could put something in your emails that says the time in your time zone or where you live, and you can set that up for when your meeting is. I added like 4 cities into that link for the 4 time zones. So that could be a way to do it as well in there. But I think you got multiple ways to solve this, plus the texting stuff that you were talking about. But give it a try. And good luck.
And if this affects 10% of the people, consider how much time you're willing to invest to solve the problem for 10% of the people.
Yeah, I haven't decided if that's a sign that you're not the right fit client yet, because that's just, we're not there yet. This was just a very odd complaint to me, and
sorry, I didn't mean to loop you back in, Justin. Justin gently set you aside. I didn't mean to bring you back in, but yeah, just a consideration.
It sounds good.
And Martin, I do think this is your gentle nudge to get the texting stuff working. We do know from an event standpoint that you get about another 20 to 25% of people show up to your event when you text them in addition to the email. So you're going to ultimately need to go through that anyway as you're start running your 3-day events.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd kind of resigned myself to that, and as the thing again, that was the path that I was going to go. I was just wondering if there's other experiences out there from the grand poobah of events. That would be you, Blue. That's your official new title.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Emphasis on the poo.
Oh, see, I didn't say that, so don't put those words in my mouth, Grant. I don't need Blue mad at me.
No, can't I mute him? I feel like I can mute him. Don't I have that control? Jeez.
It's puppy poo.
Oh my gosh. All right. Any other questions before we wrap for the day? Muddy, what's up?
I have a question that I really just want to plant a seed right now. But in an event we were running today with a couple hundred people, we're using two tools. We're using the Obvio chatbot beta, private beta, and we are using a form, ask a question. And that comes in, and we were using moderation and showing that on the screen with lower third. Those worked really great. What happened is some of the things that came in, some of the questions in the chat, and some of the questions that were submitted with the ask a question form were actually not, were very easy to answer. But the question manager and the team who was kind of managing that behind the scenes didn't actually have a very easy or good way to push an answer to those, right? It's like, how do I sign up for VIP? And it was like, okay, that's not a question we're going to ask the panel of experts and put up on the screen. That's a simple answer. And so I'm really just wondering some options to be able to respond either through, and I guess one option is to have chat moderators in all of the rooms who are responding to individual messages. Another option would be to build some, build a more in-depth FAQ that an AI chatbot might be able to use to answer some of those, but I'm a little cautious with that yet. There's no easy way to, because I know when they ask a question on a button on the dashboard, what they're really doing is just submitting a form. Is there any way to respond back to one of those submissions, right? To kind of push an answer like, oh, good question, here's the answer. And the one thought I had of how I could do it with today's technology would be to, in addition to using moderation, also zap those form responses into a Google Sheet, because the Google Sheet will show me first name, last name, email, phone number, I think. So we could have somebody who's tracking the Google Sheet and sending email responses to people for those questions. But there's no way in the moderation to respond to a question, right? I mean, I know, could you ever imagine a way to, because I know the answer is no right now. Could you ever imagine a way that you could respond or push an answer from the moderation tool? Or other ways to solve the problem of and doing this at relative scale, right? And we want to grow these events to several thousand people on a monthly basis. So it's.
Is this the AI person?
No.
Somebody else.
Lord, no. Yes. This is no. This is Matt's events. And so we ran. It was a exclusively virtual one today, and today was the pilot. And we had 800 people registered and 500 some show up. But we wanted to do these on a monthly basis with up to, the vision is tens of thousands of real estate agents.
Yeah. I can't. So right now, the short answer is like anything's possible. But with that being said, it's a little tricky on multiple levels. One, there's no way for us to inject something into the chat or into a chat room or into Zoom currently, at least I don't think there is any way using the API. The only way to get something via the chat into Zoom, is probably using the web SDK or the actual app SDK or Zoom OSC or something like that. Or something like a third party, right? Like you have to we have to pull it out of the Obvio form and somehow get it into something that can then post inside of Zoom. And Zoom's a pretty closed environment unless you have a client that's in the Zoom meeting, in which case all of a sudden it becomes more open. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't even, because the chat system and the form system completely separate, and I'm not envisioning we respond to a form and it shows up in chat, because that's actually not that useful anyway at scale, because it goes right by. They don't.
And they may also be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm imagining more like a respond via email, like a reply button on their form response in the moderator panel, because Obvio knows their email. They're in the system. That's the key data field. So if I had a little button that gave me a little pop-up and I could, copy and paste a message and hit send right from there or something. I don't know. And I imagine if anyone has clients who've had to deal with how to respond to questions at scale, some of your clients, I'm sure, have got to deal with this kind of issue.
Yeah, well, and admittedly, I mean, I love the form moderation tool, and also, it doesn't get used as much as I think it should. To be perfectly fair,
it's pretty sweet.
It is, and it works really nicely. There's a lot of advantages to it, and especially for big events, you would actually think that it would be easier to use. But most of our clients, and I think it's in part because most of our larger clients have been doing this for a while. Most of our larger clients, when they start getting into Q&A, they're actually using the Zoom chat more than they are form responses, like form submissions. And they have like humans in all of those Zoom rooms, which is, an ungodly amount of just human capital. So yeah, most of our clients are doing it in ways that you and I would probably think is crazy or insane.
Okay. Well, within the next couple, go ahead, Graham.
I think of this in two categories, and I think that you defined them as well. When I think of the form responses as specifically questions for a panel or for for an expert, for a host, whatever it is. And I think teaching the audience that is the case, that if you want to ask a question of the expert or the panel or whatever, you post it in there. If you've got general questions about things, you can put that in the Zoom chat and we're going to track it, right? And so that's the first thing to say, that there's two separate categories. I think that the email response to questions is a good idea, because I love the idea that you get 100 questions, the panel answers 5 questions. The idea that you could actually, reply to each one of those questions is pretty cool community building, aspect, which is a sort of, and it can be a delayed thing. I don't think you want to, speed is the thing. The emails, even though it would get there very quickly, the chances of them seeing it, you actually don't want your audience to be in email, right? You don't want them to be checking their emails during your event. So, but I like the idea that sort of post-event, you could, bash through a bunch of questions and keep pulling that person back in. I love that. The real-time aspect of questions in Zoom, I think, is something that Blue and I are both kind of messing around with ideas of ways of interacting, either automatically or semi-automatically, interacting with the audience in Zoom. doing interaction. And I think that's the place to answer those immediate questions, particularly about enrollment, right? Like especially when they have a, can I pay with multiple credit cards? You know, you want to give them an answer straight away. And so that type of idea is something that we're messing with. And you know, you see, I'm playing with both the Web SDK and the Mac SDK in playing around with some of these ideas, and really it's prototyping what is possible. And I am getting the chat out, and so then it's a matter of, you know, building bots and things that can answer. Or the semi-automatic nature of it would be to say that the moderation would be having a moderator who moderates the answer, right? Which is not often how we think of moderation. But an AI is offering up a suggestion of a response, and then you can go yep, you know, and fire it off while you're worried about it. But you're tracking in the same sort of world as we are as far as thinking about this stuff.
And Muddy, I do think as well, it could be a change of wording on the button. I know for your event, it said something like submit a question to like the mastermind versus.
Yeah,
like,
originally it said
to
submit
an
a question for the mastermind Q&A, but the button, I ended up adding more buttons and they ran off the screen, so I shortened it and it just said submit a Q&A or something like that, or you know, and so we got more general questions even though we tried to frame it. But what would you suggest, Justin?
Like something like submit a question to the experts panel, like something that just makes it obvious it's going to the experts. It's not just a general Q&A, because people see Q&A as just a ask any question I have regardless of what it is.
Yeah, that's a good call, and it occurs to me that there is a third level of support, which is real-time person, which is how you know, talk to a program expert for enrollment, having a help desk where someone can go and answer those. And so I think that's useful, Grant, to think about in kind of a couple different categories, and we'll probably be a little bit more mindful about the exact language. We tried to frame it that button is to submit a question for the panelists, but we had some slips through the cracks. So yeah, a couple different ways to address different kinds of questions or different kinds of needs. And actually knowing that I could also zap them into a Google Sheet so that I have all the information I need right there to have someone on the team, you know, respond to the questions that get responded to. So yeah, cool, useful conversation. Thank you. Oh, and you'll be proud because we used the hell out of the question moderation system today. We had a question manager who was sorting questions and bringing them over in 3 columns to the approved and then to the on deck. And actually, we had a VIP form and a regular form because VIPs had priority questions. So we went through all the VIP questions before the regulars, and that was a great suggestion from Blue last week. And then we had a lower third that we were overlaying in the production system that we showed on screen when the question was read. And we used stage view as well because the co-host was the question reader and read the questions on air. So we used almost all of the aspects. And we even had one question get pulled back from answered because, you know, someone was like, oh, wait, what was that question again? And we pulled it back. So yeah, we used it well today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really love that system. We play around with it. We use it on our Leap calls all the time on the live Q and the Ask Me Anything Q&A call, and I absolutely, and we use it on this call, you know, every week as well. But I definitely think not as many clients use it as they should. So, well, and we're guilty of that too, right? Like our own event, we didn't use it at TVE. So anyway.
And one thing to add on for you is if you have enough buttons that it scrolled, you may consider, is that the right template to use? From a user side, it's not great if the list of buttons is scrolling and people kind of get lost in it. And that might be why we saw some people that popped into the help desk saying, I can't find the main stage because they couldn't figure out how to scroll back up.
Yeah, maybe so. And we don't use panels. I don't use panels very often. However, this was several weeks ago, several months ago, and we started planning for this. And I was asking, how do we get custom branding? And panels worked really well for that. That was either Grant or Blue who recommended. It might have been Grant who recommended that, because it's right at the top, and so you got the sidebar that's kind of pinned in place, and then right at the top we had 8 different MLS partners, and whoever you registered under and selected during the registration process, you saw their logo when you came in, right? Welcome members of Main Street MLS or different. So it was really an elegant template from that perspective. So pros and cons, and maybe we don't have all the buttons all the time, or maybe we put the help desk button in a different place or something like that, right? Maybe a couple other ways to solve that. So yeah, good call.
It's interesting when we use panels, and I haven't used panels probably, to be fair, in like 2 years. Mostly because we found that if you use more than 3 or 4 buttons, it's virtually unusable. Unless somebody has like a massive screen, but most people don't. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think we had 4 buttons, and when I, because the 2 Q&A buttons, you only saw one of them. It was main stage, Q&A, upgrade to VIP if you weren't VIP, and the help desk. So there wasn't many buttons, and they basically had to be one line of text, because if you made them any bigger than that, they went off the screen.
Can you panels, one of the things you could do for that is you can pin a post, and on the pin a blog post, and put a couple buttons on the right hand side as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you could do that. So that may be a way to kind of add some additional buttons without keeping your primary ones there, and then that may work.
Yeah, great idea. And actually, I'm glad you said that, because I had a timer showing before the event, and the timer was being really janky. It would disappear and reappear and disappear and it would flash off and then flash back on. So it wasn't like it would be gone for a while, but it wasn't stable. It would turn off, and of course, when it turns off, now the post comes up and then the post comes back down. When I was in the attendee, when I was logged in as an actual attendee. So I don't know if that was limited to panels. I felt like I saw that the other day on another template, but I've been working on this template so much that it may have been on this just another day. But anyway,
No, I'll log that as a bug.
Yeah, flag it.
I think it's a side effect from another bug that we fixed, where at times the countdown timer would not show properly in the preview, and I think we fixed that. But I think the flashing is the page is refreshing and pulling in data and re-grabbing the time you've told it to do and resetting the countdown, which is hiding it. And then when it gets data, it unhides it. So it's just a side effect of that. And I bet you it's on all the templates, so I will log that and we'll get that fixed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Justin. All right.
Is this right? I should say something else because you keep trying to end?
Well, no, I'm just saying, any other questions? I'm not trying to end. I just
couldn't resist.
I don't have anything else to say. I'm like, does anybody have a question?
Well, actually, Blue, one thing that came to mind. So I have an iPad mini. Can that be used as an extra monitor in the example that, as an extra monitor versus the link that you sent? Or does one really need a? If it's like a PowerPoint.
The answer is kind of maybe, but probably not.
Okay.
So the first part of the answer is an extra monitor for a Mac. Yes, it can. You can mirror, or you can use an iPad as an external display, but not using HDMI. You're using USB-C at that point.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
And then the bottom line, it doesn't act exactly the same way, and you can't do it. You can't do what Muddy was suggesting, which is have a USB or an HDMI splitter
Right.
and go one HDMI cable into the iMac or into the Mac Mini, or sorry, iPad Mini, or any iPad really. This is not limited to iPad Mini. It doesn't matter which iPad you have. It won't accept an HDMI signal in to display as a monitor.
Okay, no, that's fine. I really like the monitor that you linked because it almost, yeah, it's like a flat screen.
Yeah,
super lightweight.
honestly, it's like there was an overrun of 15-inch monitors from laptops from 10 years ago, and they're trying to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, no, and that's what gave me the idea of an iPad, but I see that it is different. So
Yeah,
okay.
that's the main reason for it. As an example, when I'm at home, I have, I've got my MacBook, and I have a 12-inch iPad Pro that I don't use very often, but I use it a lot at home. I plug it in via USB-C. It connects as a second monitor for my Mac, and it's nice and low profile. And when I'm done with it, I fold it up and I put it away. It doesn't take up any space on the dining room table, which Barry appreciates.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the iPad. I've got an older iPad, like the 9th generation one. It works, but the resolution's not great.
Yeah,
I can't put a whole lot of things on it. Like, it's great to put a document as I'm doing like a dashboard or something just so I can see it, but it'd never be something that where Blue has like the Pro, which has a much higher resolution.
Yeah. And Blue, because you also have an iPad mini, is that correct?
I'm sure I do. Yes.
Okay, because I thought I heard that you said that you have the scrolling captions, or not scrolling captions, the prompt. Do you use that as prompt?
No, so for my prompter, what's on my screen
Yeah.
right in front of me,
Yeah.
is actually like an all-in-one teleprompter that acts as an external monitor, and it's by a company called Elgato.
That's right. Yeah. No, I was getting confused that the iPad mini was in the Elgato, and I told someone that, and well, I wasn't telling them like I was super informed about that. I was like, isn't that iPad mini in that thing that the teleprompter?
It's about the same. Honestly, the screen itself is about the same size as an iPad mini.
Okay.
So that may be what you're thinking, but no, it's not an iPad mini.
Okay, that's probably why I was confused a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
That's the quote for today. There's a lot of things.
There just are. There just are. It's like when Priscilla said, "Don't you have an iMac or iPad mini?" I'm like, yeah.
Sure I do.
I mean, I don't really use it. The studio uses it. We have one in the studio.
It was one of the highlights of me when I first visited Blue, was going into the closet, the
land of
closet
forgotten
of
toys.
Yeah. It's like, wow, there's some cool stuff in here.
Grant came with one suitcase and left with two.
That's right. And Blue still doesn't know what I stole.
Yeah, as sad as that sounds, it doesn't sound all that far-fetched. not that you took stuff, but more that I don't know what's missing.
Is it like the little storage area at the end of Indiana Jones in the first movie?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
That.
Please.
I did.
mean, yes. I'm just gonna say yes because it sounds awesome. So
yeah,
yes.
It was a giant place in the CIA or whatever government agencies that was just rows and rows of artifacts.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And some of them really are artifacts, like nobody should touch them sort of thing. But what really scares my team regularly is because I've bought like most of the things that we own, I've purchased, and I have a decent memory for the stuff that we've bought. And every once in a while I'll say to them, they'll be like, hey, I think we should really get this thing. I'm like, we've got one of those. What are you talking about? And they're like, we do? I'm like, yeah, come over here. And I'll pull out something like, how did you know we had that? That looks like ancient. I'm like, well, I paid for it. So it's really easy to remember the stuff you own when you pay for stuff. Like I remember how much that cost when I bought it. It's not that expensive now, but anyway. Then you get butthurt about the things that you can't find, that you're like, I know I have one of these.
I know I've got one of these.
The other day I was literally, where did I just see it? I just saw a picture of it. I was asking our team, I was like, guys, I know I have one of these, and it's like a little adapter. It's, it's like 4 inches across, like 3 inches high, an inch thick. And it's like, I know I've got one of these and it'll solve the problem that we're having. I don't even know why it's not plugged in right now, because it should be plugged in, but I know it's not. And they're like, yeah, we have no idea where that is. And I'm like, it's a $1,500 adapter. Like, I know I have one of these. I found it. Just saying. It took me a couple of days of digging through the land of forgotten toys, but I found it.
And did you find two or three other things you're like, oh, I want this. I've been looking for this.
I actually did. I was like, huh, what's this doing here? That's awesome.
I could use this.
Yeah.
I could use this again.
Yeah,
this could be useful again.
This is handy.
That totally explains why Barry got a new setup.
Okay, well, most of Barry's setup is all brand new, just for the record. Please don't tell her that any of that stuff came from Land of Forgotten Toys, because it did. That did not.
You did show her the power button this time, right?
Hmm?
Showed her the power button this time, right?
I have not. But I have not shown her the power button. And the reality is, the one thing I'm concerned about is when that thing does actually, when the camera turns off, she's not going to know how to turn it back on. So I'm like, just don't touch anything. Which isn't a good long-term solution, but for now, it works.
With that, I think we're ready to wrap.
Awesome. Well, look at us go. Full 2 hours.
Full 2 hours. And I dropped the kids off and all. It was quite productive.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for being here. And we'll see you next Wednesday, right, Grant?
Yeah. Next Wednesday.
Maybe.
It's at 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to know what other time zones that is, just ask Martin and he'll be able to sort that out for you.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I think I totally forgot we changed time on Sunday.
Here is it. That's right.
Are we falling back? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we fall back on Sunday. I think I thought it was in a week, but it is this Sunday.
Does fall back mean I get an extra hour of sleep? I feel like it does.
That is correct.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been waiting for an extra hour of sleep for at least 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm
An
sorry
extra
you're
hour
not
of
gonna
vibe
get that,
coding.
Justin. That doesn't apply to you, just so we're on the same page. Don't get excited.
It does apply to me because the majority of my clients are on the East Coast, so all of my meetings move forward an hour, so I get to sleep in another hour. No 6 a.m. Obvio stand-up meeting that I never make.
Yeah, 7 a.m. it is. Let's go.
Yeah.
There we go. Mine. This is 7:30 and it moves to 8:30, so 8:30 a.m. So.
Are you guys as well in Australia changing time zones?
We already have, and
Yeah.
so
Australia-
then it becomes a 2 hours.
Yeah,
2
and
hour
Australia
difference.
I think, Grant, doesn't Australia, they change like a week or two. It's a few weeks separate from the US, I
That's
think.
right.
Yeah.
It is. Yep.
Mhm. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and the Australia is particularly wacky when it comes to the time zones because it yeah, look at this. I always love showing this because it's like, it shows. Let me do this.
I lived in Adelaide for 11 years, and that was a half an hour behind
That's where
Australian.
Grant lives. That's where
Oh,
Grant lives.
Grant, you're in Adelaide? No way. It's such an amazing city. We'll have to, that is awesome to know. I love Adelaide. Blue, have you been to Adelaide? It's amazing. I
No.
lived up in the wine country. I lived in a few cool places.
Hey, sorry, Grant. I think I stopped your video. My bad. Sorry. Thank
I
you.
thought he was in Melbourne. Oh, Adam's in Melbourne. Hmm.
Yeah, Australia is weird. Okay. Wow, I thought the US was, well, US is easy compared. That is nuts. And I have to deal with India as well and Brazil. Brazil was smart. During the pandemic, they got rid of daylight savings time, so they do not change time anymore. Because it used to be there 2 hours, and then it becomes 3, then it becomes 4, and then it goes the other way around.
Wow.
Now it's just us and our foolishness.
Very
But
cool.
yeah, Grant wins. That is nuts.
Mhm.
All right, see you guys next week. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Catch y'all
you.
later.
Bye-bye.
That's confusing. There we go. I muted myself. I was chatting away. Anyway, bye everyone.